This is Adrian Hart with your Southeast Colorado News on seconews.org. We're at Fort Lyon National Cemetery. We're with the special presenter today, your guest speaker, for both the Los Animas and Fort Lyon ceremonies, Larry Garner. You told family history that is hard to tell. Tell us about your preparation.
Well, I have a cousin that lived in Los Animas for most of her life, and her maiden name was Neal, Ellen Neal. Her mother was Pearl Neal, one of my aunts on my dad's side, and she's quite the historian. And I was contacted by the VFW Auxiliary here in Los Animas, asked to come do a presentation on my father's three brothers that were killed in World War II. So I contacted Ellen, and she sent me a thumb drive full of stuff, and the people asked me to do about a 10-minute presentation or so. So
you went a little over the time limit.
I know. It was hard. I could have gone for days, with the information she sent me. But I put together a presentation best I could to try to fit the time frame, and I thought it turned out very nice. Tried to get as much as I could as far as factual stuff and some of the flavor of what the family was like that they left when they went overseas.
Larry Garner, you just shared your family history with the community. Tell us about how that felt.
It was enlightening for me, to tell you the truth. When I was a little kid, I heard the stories about my three uncles getting killed in World War II, but there was no detail. My grandmother didn't want to hear all that, and my dad would say something about it, and my uncle would say something about it, and that was about it.
Yeah.
And so when I was approached about doing this, I did quite a bit of research, and learned a lot of things that I never knew. And it was, I'm trying to think of the right word, I guess.
You get that moment of pride.
Yeah, I was proud, but it was just, I don't want to say the word enlightening again, but that's what it was. I learned so much about my family that I never knew, because my mother and father were both from Los Animas, and they moved out of here right before I was born and moved to Pueblo, and we would come see family and stuff down here, but I didn't get the history. I was a little kid. And then by the time I was old enough where I would have appreciated it, we lived in a different place, and we didn't get to come down here that often, and when we were here, we didn't want to talk about stuff like that. My parents didn't want to talk about it. My grandma didn't want to talk about it. So I never learned much of the actual details of what happened to my uncles. And that's what I really enjoyed about this project, was learning actually what happened and who they were and what they did before they went to the service and that sort of thing. And
a very poignant tell, man.
Yeah, very poignant. And I enjoyed the process of putting this together to come down here and talk to people.
Thank you so much for sharing your family history with Southeast Colorado.
Well,
it's a huge
It was an
thing
honor. It was an honor.
To take the stories that couldn't be told at the family table,
right,
and tell them in front of not just a crowd, but the camera.
Right.
Thank you for doing it, Larry. I appreciate it a lot.
All right. Well, thank you, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Is there anything that you want to add? Anyone you want to say thank you to?
I'd really like to say thank you to my cousin Ellen. Her maiden name was Neal. Her mom Pearl had the cafe down on the corner in Los Animas, Neal's Cafe,
where the Dollar General is now.
Yes,
so
forever.
That's across the street from my mother-in-law's old house.
Yeah.
And so I spent many an hour and many a day there. So
yeah, and so did I. When we'd come down and visit my grandma, we'd go there because Aunt Pearl would feed us for free.
Can't beat it. And then, when I was there, it was an empty lot. So different generation, right?
And my other two cousins, Dan Garner, the only Garner's son that came back from war alive. His sons are here today, Jim and Gail, and that was special to have all three of my cousins here.
Yeah, very good, and great to see you guys see the memorial to your family. How did that feel to come together around that?
I hadn't seen that in probably 60 years, at least, and that was breathtaking to see that again. And then the three separate headstones. Alvy's not out there because they never found his body. They never found any of the bodies of the people on that submarine. But it was special. And then we went over and paid tribute to Grandma and Grandpa's gravestone while we were there. And I hadn't seen any of those in a long time, so that was special.
Well, thank you so much, Larry.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
For Larry Garner, the Garner family, VFW 2411, and the people of Southeast Colorado, I'm Adrian Hart with your Southeast Colorado News.